like a game of Squid Games where the biggest whales in crypto are pretty much trying to liquidate each other. And you've got the biggest names from this bull run now facing or trying to avoid liquidations on the one side. On the other side, you've got this other bunch of whales who are doing their very, very, very best to liquidate them. And for us, it's basically like we're caught in the middle. We're caught in the middle of these liquidation games. Now, if you know how these games work, you may know where the bottom is. And if you know where the bottom is, then you could make life-changing money now, because this is the time in the cycle where people actually make life-changing money. But if you don't, you could be absolutely liquidated like everybody else. So today we're going to look at how these games are being played, where there may be a bottom, and we're going to talk about whether we should be buying today. And that's ahead of the Fed meeting tonight, where they will be announcing an increase in interest rates. What are they going to announce? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about. So I'm here. I'm back. Let's do it.
Yo.
Are you trading? Be honest.
I was playing around earlier, yes.
Share your screen.
It's done now, though.
Share your screen.
Okay.
Share your screen. Don't touch the tabs. Just share the screen.
So there's the screen that we're on there, and you can see my position is closed. It was on, but I took profits.
How did you go today?
Yeah, it went well. I made $5,000 off of $5,000. So
you made 100% today.
Yeah, I've done two small, and these are very small ranges, but it's extremely volatile and risky areas. So I'm waiting for the high time frame breakouts, and then from that, we're gonna get some great boosts.
I was trying to follow you earlier on ByBit. You said I must long Cardano at 46.8.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
and then we TP'd at around 48.20.
Oh my goodness.
48 in that zone. Yeah, and now it's coming down, so that's great.
Now you're out.
Yeah, now I'm out. But if I share my other screen, let me just get the other one up here.
Show me the other screen.
There's a nice one coming. So I'm looking at either later tonight. I'm waiting for the news. So I want the news to break. And then we got the wedge. So the news will finally bring volume into the market. So either if there is some sort of surprise and we get a shift in it, we'll break the top and we'll get acceleration. If not, we'll break the bottom and there's a short. So there's a trade tonight to early hours in the morning. So the next 12 hours, I'm going to be in, and it's a bigger move. It's a higher time frame break. I feel like the market's been bleeding a lot. So I think at least a small little bounce makes sense. But the ranges are so big, a small bounce is 25% these days. So it's like...
Okay, so are you telling us all to get ready because you're going live tonight, later tonight or tomorrow? I can tell you the news is coming in about 4 hours, and that's the Fed announcing the new interest rate increase. That is the news. If you're waiting for news, that's the news. Two ways that it can go. Either we're going to get a 0.5 basis point rate hike, in which case the markets are going to fly, or we're going to get a 0.75, in which case I don't know what the markets will do, because we'll talk about that during the show today. So what's it going to be? What do you think?
I think there's going to be a surprise. I think there's going to be a little mini pump. I maybe think the first reaction is going to be a quick drop off, but I actually feel we're going to have a little relief, because it's been crazy out there. I can't believe how Bitcoin is just like, look at that. It's been hours and hours and hours and hours of just like, and you can see we're breaking some sort of trend line at the moment, a major trend. So I kind of feel we need a little rally bounce there. And if you look at the rally bounce, you look at the percentages on a lot of the alts, like we should be active. We should definitely be active. But we know by doing it before the news always becomes a big problem, because then
So
you
you're saying-
anticipate and
you're
it becomes, so I'm
saying
waiting
get
for the
ready.
news.
Get ready for news. Get ready for news. All right, so I'm going to put you in the waiting room because we're going to go through some charts. I've got a whole lot of charts to
Come on,
talk with
brother.
you guys. Guys, get ready. If you don't have a ByBit account or a KuCoin account, get ready and make sure that you've got your ByBit account or KuCoin account ready, because there's a link below. Use the link below. That's where you get the biggest sign-up bonuses, because I think we're going to be trading tonight from what Sheldon says. James, are you finished eating? Okay, good. I just keep hearing you eating. Are you finished?
I've just been waiting to do that.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay, thank heavens. Now we can move on with the show. So much to talk about. Welcome. If you are new to our channel, subscribe, like this content. Help me get this content out there. I'm here, sick as a dog, but here I am, bringing you crypto love and crypto wisdom, even on days like this. All right, let's talk about what's going on in the market, and it is a game of bloody mass liquidations. That's what it is. It's like it's whales playing whale games and liquidating the whole market. You can see everything is red again. Surprisingly, though, Bitcoin hasn't broken that 20,000 level. So, I mean, on my chart here, it got to 20,189. It hasn't broken the 2017 high, which was 20,000. So it hasn't broken below that. Ethereum, not such a pretty picture. So that obviously has broken down. That white line is the 2017 level. That's broken down. Now trading at 1,113, but hasn't broken $1,000 yet. Hasn't broken $1,000 yet. The surprising chart for me is actually the dominance chart. So if I look at the dominance chart, have a look at this dominance chart. There's been a massive decline in dominance. So if I look at dominance, I see two things. I see the first thing that I see is that there is now extreme fear. Seven. Fear and greed of 7. I haven't seen that for a long time. And so there's extreme fear. But funny enough, in times of extreme fear, I thought the dominance would escalate, would go towards 50%. And we're now getting dominance coming down, which is, I don't know, a huge surprise for me. But anyway, look, I'm not the chart person. The chart person, the DGen, is actually Sheldon. Sheldon, what are you seeing in the charts, bro?
So obviously going back to the weekly, like the higher time frame, we are getting to support area. I do think if we do have a temporary bounce, I think we are still going to come down to the 17. Like, I feel like we have to do it. We just got to come test the previous zone. I don't know if it'll be right now. Like, I'm expecting some sort of, like, we literally went from 30,000 to the mat of 20,000 without a single bounce. Like, there was $1,000 bounce at some point, but that was a $3. So I think there is a little relief bounce. I don't think the trouble's done just yet. I think we are going to make our way back to that zone. I think when Bitcoin has a little breakup now, I think dominance is going to go fully in Bitcoin's favor again. But I think the fact that we broke this previous trend, let me just get it there. There we go. You know, a push back up there, get dominance or get Bitcoin back to 20K or 23 or 24K, and then have a reversal back down there and hopefully get the alts to catch up, because I understand it's going to turn to Bitcoin when the time comes. We've got to break through a key level. But after that, we got to have an alt catch up. The alts have been hurt a lot. Now we got El Chapo. I think that's been calling this bear drop. El Capo. He's called it to the T. He's done amazing, and I think he's also looking between 18 and 19K for Bitcoin. So I do think there's further damage, but I think a little relief bounce first, and then, you know, is there any other news that's coming in the next week or two that could possibly add another bearishness leg, if you want to call it? Yeah, I want to know from your side.
Let me go through the news. And then you'll tell me what after the news. You'll tell me what you think. What you think this means for the charts? Because when I look at the news, let me show you what I see in the news. I'm going to put you in the waiting room, and you can see what I see in the news. So you got fear and greed at the lowest that it's been in. I mean, I don't remember seeing it at 7 ever, but I haven't been paying much attention. It may have been at 7 before, but that is pretty low. And I think Mike Novogratz summarized this. What we're going through now is we're going through what I think is going to be called the Great Unleveraging. Okay, this is like the great, crypto is always going to remember this as the Great Deleveraging. That's what this whole correction is about. And it started off with Luna, and what Luna did was it actually took the tide out. And now you can see who's wearing clothes and who's not wearing clothes. And you can see who was exposed and who wasn't exposed. And as more people start to get exposed, as we start seeing all the cracks, so we're getting more and more liquidations. And it's complete what Luna triggered. And I know this is like, you know, we're probably a month ahead of where Luna happened, but what Luna triggered was this wave of mass liquidations, which we're now seeing today. The biggest names in crypto are now possibly facing liquidations. Celsius, probably facing a liquidation or avoiding liquidation. We'll talk about that in a second. Three Arrows Capital, one of the darlings of the 2022-2021 bull run, one of the best funds with $18 billion under management at one point, probably facing a liquidation. MicroStrategy being threatened with a liquidation. Justin Sun, Tron, being threatened with a liquidation. Now, when you get a spiral of liquidations like this, it's a very, very, very rare scenario. This is like in traditional finance, what would happen here is the Fed would step in and they would put in all the stops into place to make sure that not the whole thing doesn't collapse. But in crypto, we don't have that, which is a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is that if you do have dry powder, then to be in an environment where you're getting mass liquidations and mass liquidations and mass liquidations cascading because of each other, that is the best situation to be in. But if you're a holder, like I think all of us, then you've just become a long-term holder because this will take a long time to recover. What we're going to see here is we're not going to see a quick bounce. We're going to see more and more and more cracks exposing themselves. And the reason is because let me show you this in a second. So let's quickly listen to what Novogratz said when he was on Squawk Box.
Bitcoin falling back below 22,000. Joining us now in an exclusive interview is Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz. And Mike, thanks for joining us this morning. You ever wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night and just ask yourself, oh my God, what have I done?
Sometimes it's a hot sweat, but no.
It's a hot sweat. All right, TMI.
Listen, Bitcoin was an 80 vol asset and we're seeing the downside of it. We got to keep it in context. I mean, the S&P is down 10% since Thursday at 2:00. I had hoped this year was 30,000 low in Bitcoin, a 30,000, 50,000 range was my hope. Inflation's been a little more stubborn. The Fed's going to have to be more hawkish. And, we're going through what feels to be a little bit like a long-term capital management moment in crypto.
It's a collapse.
A lot of people are too young to remember that. But, it was the big hedge fund that had all the leverage. And when it started unwinding, there was repercussions everywhere. And, we're seeing that in the crypto space right now with both Celsius. We had it first with the Terra Luna ecosystem imploding. And that's causing a lot of damage around the system. It's causing a deleveraging. That's accelerated. We've gotten to levels that I think should be close to the bottom, 20,000 Bitcoin, 1,000 Ethereum. There's been a tremendous amount of capitulation and fear. And so usually not a good area to sell. Doesn't mean we can't go lower. I think the macro environment's still pretty challenging out here. But there's been a lot of damage done.
A lot of damage done, a lot of liquidations happening. We've got a bad macro environment of our side. And, what I'm getting a whole lot of VCs telling me that this reminds them of the 1999 and 2000 tech crash, except most of them were only born in 1998 because that's the average age of a VC today. So, yeah, let's look at Celsius. The latest communication from Celsius is that they are working as quickly as possible and they will share information as and when it becomes appropriate. The same time, what we see them doing is we see them adding more collateral to the vault where they have that big loan. So they've got a collateralized loan. So they've got, and the liquidation price on that loan now is 14,002, which means that they've been adding Bitcoin or wrap Bitcoin to the vault. And that means that in order for them to be liquidated, the price of Bitcoin now has to come down to 14,002. And so now it's like a game of chicken. Do the guys that want to liquidate them, do they want to push, can they afford to push Bitcoin all the way down to 14,002 to try and liquidate Celsius? And then there's also a risk that if they do that, Celsius will keep adding capital to this vault. So it's becoming like this. It's a game between the whales. It's a game of chicken. I think the best thread that I read in it was Autism Capital said, it's a game of chicken right now. Celsius will keep adding margin and lowering their liquidation price. They are testing Sam et al., Sam, maybe Cory, if the rumors are correct. How low are they willing to crash the market to liquidate Celsius, and who can last longer? So it's a game of, it's whale games. It's people trying to liquidate Celsius. Now, we know that Celsius still have some of those STETH. And right now there's still let's have a look here. Let's have a look at what one Ethereum is. is 1.05. So the 5% discount from ST to ETH, which means that Celsius will take a big hit. What we're learning now about Celsius is that Celsius was investing a lot of their customers' funds in DeFi assets, and that's how they were generating the yield. And it seems like with all this unbundling, with the Badger DAO hack, with the Lunar Terra system collapsing and whatever else, it seems like they may have lost a lot of user funds. Now, I've heard that they are still solvent and that the issue is a cash flow issue. In other words, that they are just waiting for unlocks with STE situation and whatever else, and they do actually have enough to pay back all their liabilities. But there have been rumors that Celsius is actually insolvent. So now we have to wait and see whether Celsius is insolvent or not insolvent. I hope to God that they are not insolvent, because they have more than 1.5 million people's money in Celsius, in the billions and billions and billions of dollars. Now, one of the guys that's been rumored to be the attacker here, so to speak, the warner, the attacker, is this guy whose name is Cory Klippsten. He's from Swan Bitcoin. He's a hardcore Bitcoiner. Listen to what he had to say when he was on
It's
Coinbase.
similar is that they were both subject to a bank run. The mechanisms by which they're sort of subject to that risk are kind of different. What Celsius does is basically gathers maybe more unsophisticated institutional deposits. And the issue that I really had there with Celsius was the marketing, because they make it sound like a better bank and they make it sound like a high yield savings account, and they even call it deposits, but then in the fine print say, when we say deposits, we don't mean deposits. What you actually are as a user or a member of Celsius is an unsecured lender to Celsius. You're an unsecured creditor, and they can do whatever they want with your coins out the back end, essentially trading it like a hedge fund, and you don't have any rights. You don't have any rights to your coins. We don't even know where depositors, where the Celsius members are in the liquidity stack. This is not banking. This is not securities. It's very possible, and I'm eager for some journalists to figure it out. The investments that Westcap made in Celsius last year, rumored to have bailed them out in the summer first, and then obviously the announced round in the fall, along with the Quebec Pension Fund. You know, it's very possible that they're actually ahead of depositors in the liquidity stack, so or in the liquidation stack. I don't know. We don't know. It's so opaque what's going on at Celsius. So this whole idea of banks are evil and then becoming a worse bank is kind of the headline story with Celsius.
So
it's similar.
So there we go. You've heard it from Cory Klippsten. He's the guy that Alex Mashinsky was warning us about. He's the hardcore Bitcoiner. Look, he may have been right calling out Celsius, or he may have actually forced this bank run, which is where Celsius is at the moment. Now we start seeing the legal claims mounting up against him. There's a guy called Josh Browder. He says if you have a $10,000 to $25,000 with Celsius, and he walks you through step by step how you can claim them in the small claims courts, which takes 1 to 2 months. BitBoy Crypto is also starting Carl, can you believe BitBoy is also starting a mass, what do they call it? Class action lawsuit against Celsius. Because what he's saying, and I don't know if this is true or not, what he's saying here is he's saying that the account rep at Celsius told us that even though they had enough money to pay off the loan, we can't use the money in the account. We have to send more money to Celsius to pay off the loan because everything is now frozen. Someone here said in the comments, and they're right, they said, this is presented by Nexo, which is quite funny. Like, this is presented by Celsius. Watch more, presented by Nexo. It's just like, yeah. How safe are all these? Look, we're going through mass liquidations. Right now, you've got a question everywhere about where your money is. Even the smartest people in crypto are now fighting for their lives, and that is because situations of mass liquidations usually don't happen. When they do happen in traditional finance, the government is always the one stepping in. In crypto, we're not going to get the government stepping in. Our best case is if we're going to get Justin Sun stepping in, we're going to get His Excellency Justin Sun stepping in. That's the best we're going to get. But let's look at Three Arrows Capital, because there were rumors. Now remember, Stereo's capital is Kyle and Suzu. And there were rumors that they were also getting liquidated in the last couple of days. Suzu took every coin and every hashtag out of his bio. Remember, he used to have hashtag Avalanche, hashtag Luna, hashtag Ethereum, blah, blah, blah. And I checked it. He did. He took out everything. Here we go. Here's his, where did I put his profile? Here we go. Now he only put Deribit Exchange, even though they've disposed all their holding in Deribit Exchange. So, and what we've seen them doing is we've seen them pumping ETH, pumping ST ETH. Most of the ST ETH fair discount lists I've seen misses that from an on-chain functionality perspective. SC ETH is nearly pari passu with ETH. And then 10 minutes later, I don't know for 10 minutes, but soon later, they dump 30,000 ST ETH and swap it with ETH. So they also now struggling for their lives, struggling to remain solvent. What you can see is that they are selling ST ETH like crazy. 39,500 over there, 20,000 ST ETH over there, 11,000 ST ETH over there. This is after they were telling people to buy ST ETH and telling people that ST ETH was amazing. Now they are doing everything that they can. Frank Chaparro from the block reached out to them. No response so far. But there was a tweet today from Suzu saying we are in the process of communicating with the relevant parties and fully committed to working this out. This is a fund that was $18 billion in net asset value. So they went from zero to $18 billion. And now they are, looks like they're fighting for their lives. So there was this guy called Hold Kryptonite or DGen Trading. And he was the one who initially raised the flag around Celsius collapse. And he's now saying that, look, the Three Arrows capital collapse is monumental because they borrow from every single major lender. So BlockFi, Genesis, Nexo, and Celsius. So these guys borrowed money from Nexo, Celsius, BlockFi. And he's saying that, they did have 18 billion under management. They've now got 9 billion under management, or maybe even less. And their liquid portfolio would probably be worth, he does a calculation, and he says their liquid portfolio could be worth about 2.7 billion at best. And so he's basically warning of more mass liquidations because as these guys go down, they may take down people like Nexo, Crypto.com. We don't know who's got exposure to what. And that's why what we said is that you're in this period of mass liquidations. And in a period of mass liquidations, more and more and more liquidations are going to happen. It's a completely unique situation. And now you've got to make a call because I don't know if we are at the bottom. I don't know if Bitcoin's going to test that 17,000 that Sheldon spoke about. But I can tell you that the risk return here is absolutely crazy. We've never been in a position where we've got so many mass liquidations and a cascade of so many things. We've got a bad economic background. We've got crypto liquidations happening, Celsius collapsing, probably the biggest retail lender in the country or in the world today, crashing. You've got one of the biggest funds in crypto crashing. You just had an ecosystem crashing. And now you've got to make a call as to whether this is a good time to be buying or selling. Now, if you've got, balls, this is probably the right time to be buying. This is the right time to be dollar cost averaging into things. I know it feels uncomfortable, but the more uncomfortable that it feels, probably the more right that it is. Because we've never seen liquidations like this. We're even seeing MicroStrategy. So they have one loan which would have liquidated at 21,000, but only what happened was they pledged more Bitcoin. So MicroStrategy has a $205 million short-term loan that needs to maintain $410 million as collateral, but they pledged more, so they can pledge more Bitcoin. So that's now been reduced to 3,562. So MicroStrategy is not going to get liquidated. Then the next whale that may actually get liquidated is Justin Sun. So he is now trying to fix the peg of his shitcoin stablecoin, right? So if you look at his USDD, it's now trading at 97 cents. So it's lost its peg. There's only 700 million of these in circulation. And he is trying to defend the peg. But he's added to $500 million in USDC to help a stablecoin that only has $700 million in full market cap. I don't know. Seems pretty weird. But what I'm trying to show you guys is that this is not just our portfolios that are hurting. You're talking about the smartest people in the space getting destroyed. Michael Saylor is down almost $1 billion on his Bitcoin purchase. Three Arrows Capital is probably $10 to $15 billion down. Alex Mashinsky had a business that probably had a $10 billion market cap at one point, and that's now going insolvent. This is an absolute collapse, the likes of which I think we've never seen before. And so what I did was I started to look for what other people are doing and what other people are thinking. So there are multiple views. There is the one view, which is this view over here, which is Ari Paul. And he says, in my opinion, crypto is now going through something vaguely like the post-2000 tech crash. We proved a modest product market fit in several areas, but product and infrastructure need to be much better and truly cross chasm to mainstream. And adoption is 5 years behind where people hoped. In bull markets, we overlook these problems in crypto and equities. Uber Coinbase's revenue growth is viewed unskeptically. Why would it just continue growing? Why wouldn't it just continue growing? Too good to be true. Yields are just free money. We didn't look at Solana's downtime, Ethereum scaling delays. But now in the bear market, we actually start to look at this. All this stuff feels very different. People hold billions of dollars of this stuff. Does abstract optimism cut it? Are current valuations reasonable in light of current fundamentals? Will existing market leaders still be relevant in 5 to 10 years? He's saying that the hype bubble has completely popped now. There's no more hype. This is a washout of optimism, a washout of leverage, a washout of naivety. And he says, this is the crazy thing. In my opinion, we haven't yet overshot to the downside. I don't have precise valuations to mark that, but in my opinion, I don't see anything screaming value in the fundamental sense outside of some minor cases. In my opinion, these are decent entries for the next bull run, but a risky one. In most alts, risky because most alts may not survive a sustained bear market, or even if they do, may survive like Litecoin, EOS, and Ripple did out of the 2017, which means that they survived in this kind of zombie kind of state. So he's still very, very, very bullish. I'm not going to take you through the 15, 20-part tweet thread. He says, I'm far more bullish on the 2-year outlook ahead for anything in crypto than I was 9 months ago, but have to be careful what we buy. We're trying to buy and hold long-term value. So he's saying be careful what you buy. But if you look at the metrics, we do know that Bitcoin just keeps coming back. Bitcoin just keeps coming back. Everyone says Bitcoin's dead. When they say Bitcoin's dead, that's usually the best time to buy. And people are calling Bitcoin dead again. Probably the best time to buy. Cumberland, which is a large OTC desk, they're saying that they've seen the largest outflows of the year to the OTC desk, which is, of course, as a result of all these liquidations. And that, to them, is a signal that we're entering a local or a local bottom. You're getting the on-chain metrics. So this is the Bitcoin realized price. We're now under the realized price, which is usually good value for money. You've got the net unrealized profit and loss flashing a buy, almost as big as the buy in March, in COVID March. So the on-chain metrics are showing us that this is a buying opportunity. The sentiment is showing us that this is a buying opportunity. We've never had mass liquidations. And I think you'll look back at this time. You may not catch the bottom. You probably won't catch the bottom because no one knows what the bottom is, just like no one knew what the top was. When we were at the top, no one knew what the top was. No one knew it was 69. People that took profits from 50 to 55 to 60 to 65, maybe they didn't catch the top, but they made huge money. And it's the same thing with calling bottoms. The idea is not to call the bottom, but the idea is to be buying around the bottom. And what you're seeing here, to me, feels like it's a bottom-ish situation. We may not be at the bottom, who knows? But certainly the risk reward now after mass liquidations, and when there's games being played to try and liquidate each other, then that is near the bottom. So I started dollar cost average. I started to put my stuff on I put in about, look, I lost a lot of my dry powder on Anchor, but of the dry powder that I've got, I deployed about 25% of whatever's left. I deployed yesterday. I dropped those on my Twitter. So if you want them, they'll be on my Twitter. Go check my Twitter. I'll also drop you guys a buy list on BBS later if you want to join me. I'm not telling you to buy. I'm just telling you that I'm buying. I'm starting to deploy some capital. And I'm not the only one. 91% of Americans say that they still intend to buy crypto in the next 6 months. I actually see this as negative because it means people have still got money. Okay, good. Let's talk about traditional markets. So what we're seeing is the NASDAQ, the Dow. The Dow is up 0.5%, and that is ahead of tonight's interest rate decision. Remember, tonight is a huge huge interest rate decision from the Fed, massive interest rate decision from the Fed. I may or may not be live, depending on how I feel. I may just come and do another viewing situation, where we all just sit and talk about what Powell's saying. That is happening in 3.5 hours. So in 3.5 hours, we have the interest rate announcement. We then, after the interest rate announcement, we have Powell's speech, or where he talked, the media briefing. And what we care about is not what happens on the interest rate. We kind of know what's happening on the interest rate, or do we? We always anticipated that there's going to be a 0.5 basis point rate hike now. The probabilities are telling us that there is a 94.8% hike of a 75% basis point rate hike and a 5.2% chance of a 1% rate hike, which is unprecedented. Let's say that it's unprecedented, and it's bringing down sentiment. Sentiment now is lower than sentiment was on COVID when we started crashing. Let's look at what the banks are thinking. So Barclays is calling for, these are the list of the banks: Barclays, Deutsche, Goldman, JP Morgan, Nomura, Societe Generale, Wells Fargo are all calling for 75 basis points. There are some banks, BNP Paribas, Bank of America, Citibank, Credit Suisse, all calling for 50 basis points. It seems like sentiment has switched to 50 to 75 basis points. We could get a surprise, and this is where Sheldon may come in tonight. We could get a surprise, because if we get a 50 basis point rate hike today, I think we're going to get the traditional markets running now. The question is whether the traditional markets running can actually change the trajectory of where Bitcoin's going. That is, I think, the big question here today. Let's see what else we've got in this regard. I mean, yeah, I must say, I have a sneaking suspicion, and I'm going to trade it, that we're getting a 50 basis point rate hike. Even though everybody's calling for 75, I'm going to play the contrarian card here, and I'm going to put a little position, a small position, on the contrarian. I'm going to go long NASDAQ. Let's see, and see what happens. I mean, I'll remind you that this is how the Fed was speaking about.
I really
inflation.
doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle.
Most economic analysts believe that it will have a temporary or transitory impact.
The faster than expected increase in some of those prices is actually a good sign.
The overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great,
This is something that will settle down.
Transitory.
You know what this looks like? When you watch this, you know what this looks like? It looks like, like you go to a school play where the kids play the parents go and they watch their kids play in a school play. This is like the same thing, but in a nursing home for old people. Don't you think you're getting all these old people?
The data shows that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and expected to be temporary. There's nobody suggesting there's unchecked inflation on the way. It's highly unlikely that's going to be long-term inflation that's going to get out of hand. I don't know anybody who's worried about inflation.
Over the last couple of months, we actually saw it trended downward.
President Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, enthusiastically retweeted an economist who had said, in part, most of the economic problems we're facing, inflation, supply chains, et cetera, are high-class problems.
What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Well, the number one thing that the president can do is help get COVID under control. That we know is the root cause of inflation.
President Biden this afternoon saying he thinks we're at the peak of the crisis right now and that lower prices are on the way.
The inflation has everything to do with the supply chain. Make no mistake, inflation is largely the fault of Putin. I'm going to do everything I can to minimize Putin's price hike here at home.
If you want to get rid of inflation, the only way to do it is to undo a lot of the Trump tax cuts.
Ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything.
So I don't know. Let's see what happens tonight. I'm saying I'm calling for a 0.5%, and then we're going to get a 0.5% surprise. Everyone's calling 0.75. Let's see what happens. Let's see. What is this Tentino man thinking? What are you thinking? 0.5 or 0.75?
What I don't get is the market's been absolutely annihilated for the last few days. Like, I kind of feel the whole world already knows about it. It's all over Twitter. So is it really such a surprise? So even if it does come at 75, like, I think we'll get a reaction, but I think a lot has happened before that. I think it's getting priced in my opinion. Like, I just see a market that's very, very, very oversold at the moment. And I'm not talking about us just reversing something now and changing it into bull market again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. We can hear. We can hear you, Sheldon. We can hear.
Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you, Sheldon. We can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm stuck.
It's frozen. Okay, let me get him off for a second. While he's off, while he's trying to log on again, couple of announcements. So first of all, if you haven't already got an account, it's so simple. Let me show you what you do. I've got a lot of announcements for you today, and I've got a lot of giveaways as well. You need to be here. Be here. Okay, so simple. You go to this over here. You get yourself you go to ByBit, sign up on ByBit. You get a trading bonus of up to $4,200. Sign up on KuCoin. Today we're going to give away 3 KuCoin. We're going to give away $3,000 to KuCoin people today. ByBit sign up. We're going to 10x someone's portfolio. We're going to do it today. Also, if you want the Banter NFTs, you have to have an account with one of our exchanges. If you go to Binance, you get $600 free. You have to have an account with one of our exchanges because that is how we're going to give away the Banter NFTs. Later on Sheldon's show, if he does ever log back on here, we are going to announce what the NFTs are for and how the NFTs work and why you need the NFTs. But do it. Get yourself on there. Yo, are you back?
Yo, I'm back, bro.
Okay.
Sorry that the internet's been dropping quite a bit. So, Ran, the big important thing was not to trade the last mess for the last week or two. Like, I'm glad, like, I see people are trying time, but you can't trade the mess right now. We needed it to just sink dry. We could see how it's just dropping and dropping and dropping. Let's get some news tonight. Let's get some volume. And you can see the patience it's taking for me to enter these trades and sort of stuff. So after volatility tonight, we're either going to have a decision of us breaking to the up or to the down. We have it in a narrow wedge that's formed there. And I'll be going live on either one. So there's volatility coming again. We're either going back to 17 or we're going to 25. And we're going to take it from either of those. But patience, guys. We want to win. We want to win.
All right, let's wait for Sheldon. All right, also, so remember, sign up with one of these links over here. That's how you get the Banter NFT. We'll announce what the Banter's NFT tonight. We'll announce who's getting the Banter NFT. Next thing is, if you want CoinStats is the one platform that keeps or that shows you all your tokens, but in one place, right? So that's CoinStats. Oh my goodness, this portfolio was once valued at $50,000, now $13,000. Maybe I shouldn't have opened it, but I'm opening it to show you two things. One is if you want CoinStats, it's here. There's a referral link below. Get it. Also, they now have an NFT called trueplebs.com. If you buy this NFT, which is 0.069 ETH, right? 0.069 ETH, $669, then you get a premium account for 1 year. If you buy 2, you get a premium account for a lifetime. So you're paying $130 for a premium account of a lifetime. All right, so that's that. Let's do this. Let's give away some ByBit first of all. Okay. Now here's how I'm going to do a 10x today. Let's do a 10x. Carl, pick a number. Between 1 and 30,000.
12,310.
12,310.
Yeah.
Is that seriously the number that you picked?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to row number 12,310. You sure you want 12,310?
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy, you pick a number 2, but don't make it too far away from 12,310.
1,111.
No, 12,311. One of them is going to get 10x. One of them is going to get 2x. Not over $10,000. You hear me? Not over $10,000. All right, let me unhide this row. Okay, now, if 12,310 has less than $100 in their wallet, James is fired. If 12,310 has over $100, then James is not fired. Are you ready? James, your whole life, your whole job here depends on this.
It's like every other day.
How many times have you been fired today, James?
At least 5.
Okay, 12,310. Remember, the red one gets 10x. The yellow one has got $391 in their portfolio. Okay, so the yellow one now gets another $391. Not bad, not bad, not bad. I mean, wake up in the morning, they get 12,000, getting the $391. Okay, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous to go to the other one. I'm so nervous, Carl. I'm so nervous. 12,310. 12,310. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, 12,310. Oh! He got $1,000 in his account.
Yes.
10,000. Yes, you paying it.
I want to be generous.
You just gave a guy $10,000. You know, very soon ByBit are going to tell me to stop giving away money. ByBit are going to say, listen, you're fucking giving away all our money. That's what you're doing. You're just giving away money. You're giving away money. Oh, by the way, James, the guy had more than $100 in his account. You get to live another day. Was that the deal?
I can't even remember.
Okay, let's do some KuCoin giveaways. Okay, hold on. Let me do some KuCoin giveaways. Only thing is I have to sign in with all this 2FA and all this other nonsense. Give me a second. Let me sign in for you guys. Giving away money to the community. Let's just give away money. Sign up with KuCoin. Sign up with ByBit. I'll give you money. It's as simple as that. Okay, let's see. KuCoin. Here we go. Okay, hold on. Have to... Okay, so remember, I'm going to give away $3,000 every single day, $1,000 to each person. You got to have money in your KuCoin account. You don't have money in your KuCoin account? Sorry, I can't help you with that. I can't help you with that. But if you do have money, then I can help you, and I'm going to help you. Okay, let's quickly find the list. Come on. Call up the list of people. See, it's calling up all the usernames. Let's just wait for it to call up all the usernames. Okay, why is this not working? Why is this not working? Please help me. I want to give away $3,000 to Banter family people. Please help me. Please help me. Okay, here we go. Okay, so $1,000, but remember, you got to have money in your account. So if you are 1571693, you got $1,000 in your account. If you are 411802, you got $1,000 in your account. If you are 931944, I'm putting $1,000 in your account only if you have $1,000. Only if you have money in your account. All right, so here's the deal. I feel like shit. Yeah, I do. I feel like shit. I've got COVID again, believe it or not. Thanks, Consensus. I've got COVID. But I am here and I am doing a show. If I feel good, I'm back later and we'll watch Powell's decision live. If not, follow me on Twitter at Cryptoman Ran, and hopefully I'll make some announcements and whatever else there. And hopefully I can maybe lie in bed and trade with Sheldon. I will see you guys again tomorrow, hopefully. Until then, have fun, trade well, look after yourselves. Be strong, guys. Be strong. I know it's a tough time out there. See you later. Sitting here trading leverage again.
FTX.
You're trading leverage on FTX, James?
Allegedly.
What are you trading?